Anakin Skywalker stood on the rain-slicked landing platform, the Coruscant cityscape a blur of neon and sorrow behind him. He had made his choice. He had pledged himself to the dark side, to Darth Sidious, all to save Padme from the death he'd foreseen in his nightmares. Yet, as he prepared to leave for the Mustafar system, a new vision ripped through him. Not a nightmare this time, but a warning. He saw a figure in black armor, a terrifying machine of a man, breathing with a chilling, artificial hiss. He saw himself, broken and burning on a volcanic shore, his body twisted by hatred and fire. He heard a voice, his own, but not his own, raspy and hollowed by regret, utter a single, desperate plea. Don't do it. The vision shattered, leaving Anakin gasping. The cold, dread a far more potent fear than any nightmare. This was not a possible future. It felt like a memory. Pause, weak, like a scar upon the Force itself. The trust he had placed in Palpatine, the desperate hope that had driven him to this edge, fractured. The promise of power was there, yes, but what if the cost was not just his soul, but Padme herself? Pause, medium. He looked toward the waiting ship, the mission to Mustafar now, a terrifying crossroads. He would go, but not as a loyal apprentice. He would go to uncover the truth, and if necessary, to shatter the chains that were only now becoming visible. Anakin's starfighter cut through the sulfuric haze of Mustafar. Pause, weak. The vision still burned behind his eyes, a ghost of a future he would not allow to pass. He landed not as Darth Vader, the Sith apprentice, but as Anakin Skywalker, a Jedi Knight playing a deadly role. Inside the Separatist stronghold, Newt Gunray and the others greeted him as their savior, sent by Lord Sidious. They saw a powerful ally. Anakin saw only pawns in a game far larger than they knew. He ignited his lightsaber, the blue blade a stark contrast to the red-hot rivers of the planet. Fear erupted in the command center. But this was not the blind slaughter the Chancellor had ordered. This was an interrogation. Sidious sent me. Anakin's voice was cold, level. He promised you safety. Tell me, what else did he promise? Pause, strong. Cornered and terrified, the Separatist leaders confessed. They spoke of a manufactured war, of a Sith Lord playing both sides, of a grand design to dismantle the Republic from within. Each word was a nail in the coffin of Anakin's faith in Palpatine. Pause. Medium. He saw the truth with chilling clarity. The power to save Padme was a lie. A carrot dangled to secure his loyalty. He was a tool, nothing more. After he learned all he could, he fulfilled his master's command. But his heart was cold with certainty. He contacted the Chancellor, his voice a perfect mask of obedience. The Separatist leaders have been dealt with, my lord. But as he flew from the volcanic world, a new mission burned in his mind. He would return to Coruscant not to serve the Chancellor, but to confront him. Anakin landed on Coruscant and went directly to the Chancellor's office. He didn't wait for an invitation, his presence a storm front of coiled fury that sent the Crimson Guard stumbling back. Palpatine sat at his desk, turning to greet his apprentice with a triumphant smile. But the look in Anakin's eyes was not one of a loyal servant. It was the look of a judge. The Separatists told me everything, Anakin stated, his voice devoid of warmth. About the war, about your grand design. The Chancellor's kindly mask didn't just slip, he tore it away himself. A cold reptilian smile spread across his face. Good, Palpatine hissed, his voice a venomous whisper. Then my new apprentice is not a fool. The power you promised me? Anakin demanded, his hand trembling near his lightsaber. The power to save Padme. Palpatine let out a dry, rasping laugh that filled the opulent office with chilling finality. Power over death? My dear boy, that was a story. A myth I used to find an apprentice foolish and desperate enough to believe it. He rose from his chair, his shadow seeming to devour the light. The dark side does not give, it takes. I offered you a fantasy to secure your power for my empire. Your love was simply the perfect key to unlock your potential. She was never part of the equation. The word struck Anakin with the force of a physical blow. The hope that had cost him everything, his friendships, his honor, his very soul, was a lie. A cruel joke played by the man he had called a friend. He saw not a savior, but a parasite who had fed on his fear. "You lied," Anakin breathed, the words barely audible. Palpatine's smile widened into a predatory sneer. "I am a Sith. It is what we do." The lie echoed in the vast chamber, and something inside Anakin Skywalker shattered. Pause. Weak. The betrayal was absolute. It wasn't the Jedi who had failed him. It wasn't Obi-Wan. It was the man who had promised him everything. In that instant, there was no conflict, no fear, only a singular, burning focus. A roar of pure, untamed power erupted from him as he launched himself across the room. Palpatine, caught off guard by the sheer velocity of the assault, barely ignited his own crimson blade in time. He had expected a broken apprentice, not the full, untempered fury of the Chosen One. The duel was not a contest of skill. It was a force of nature. Anakin's strikes were brutal, relentless, hammering away at the Sith Lord's defenses with a power Palpatine had craved, but never anticipated would be turned on him so soon. Sparks flew, the air crackled with dark energy. But this was not a Sith's calculated cruelty. This was personal. With a final desperate parry, Palpatine unleashed a torrent of Force lightning. But Anakin caught it on his blade, the raw energy feeding his rage. He walked through the storm, the lightning bending around him as he advanced, his eyes burning with yellow fire. He drove his lightsaber through the Chancellor's chest, the snap hiss of its exit the only sound in the sudden silence. As Sidious crumpled to the floor, Anakin stood panting, the rage slowly receding. Leaving a cold, terrifying clarity, he looked out at the city, at the fleets hanging in the sky. He saw the immense machine of power Palpatine had built. He could destroy it, or he could wield it. The Jedi way had failed. The Republic was a corpse. But this empire, this power, could bring order. It could protect Padme. Pause. Strong. He was the most powerful being in the galaxy. The power was his. The empire was his. Anakin Skywalker did not hide his deed. He stepped into the cavernous chamber of the Galactic Senate, the clone troopers of the 501st at his back, their armor a stark white against the shadows. He broadcast his message on every holonet channel, his face projected into every home on every world. "The war is over," he began, his voice calm, yet ringing with absolute authority. But it was a lie from the very beginning. He laid out the truth with brutal efficiency. He exposed Palpatine as the Sith Lord, Darth Sidious, the architect of the war, the puppeteer who controlled both the Republic and the Separatists. He presented himself not as a murderer, but as the galaxy's liberator. The Jedi could not see the truth. The Republic was too corrupt to stop him. "They have failed you." From her apartment, a horrified Padme Amidala watched the broadcast. She saw the man she loved, but heard the voice of a stranger. He spoke of peace, but his eyes burned with a righteous fire that terrified her. Pause. Medium. "I have brought an end to the Sith. Now, I will bring an end to the chaos that allowed them to thrive," Anakin declared to the galaxy. "Under my protection, you will have security. You will have order. The Republic is dissolved. In its place, a new empire will rise, one built not on deception, but on strength. My strength." He wasn't asking for approval. He was stating a fact. This was his new order, a galaxy reforged in his image to protect the one thing he had left. As senators began to murmur their support, relieved the war was over and swayed by the promise of stability, Padme felt a cold dread wash over her. He had saved her from a phantom menace, only to become a real one. She clutched her stomach, the life growing inside her a secret he could never know, and realized with heartbreaking certainty that she could not follow him down this path. Her husband had just declared himself emperor, and she knew she had to run. Emperor Skywalker's reign began not with celebration, but with a hunt. Though he had killed Sidious and exposed the Sith plot, the vision of the black-armored monster, the ghost of a future he had narrowly avoided, still haunted his every waking moment. Pause. Medium. He saw the Jedi not as defenders of the old Republic, but as relics of a failed philosophy, a weakness that had almost allowed the galaxy to fall. More than that, he feared their influence. He feared they could somehow still lead him to that fiery shore on Mustafar. They were a threat to his new order, and a threat to his sanity. He declared them enemies of the Empire. Pause. Weak. Order 66 was never given, but the command was just as absolute. Leading the 501st Legion himself, Emperor Skywalker became the galaxy's most terrifying hunter. His knowledge of Jedi tactics and fighting styles was unparalleled. He was not a distant commander sending troops to their deaths. He was on the front lines, his blue lightsaber a blur of righteous fury. He tracked them to their hidden enclaves and ancient temples, offering a simple choice: swear loyalty to his new empire, or be extinguished as a threat to peace. Most chose death, but his victories felt hollow. He returned to Coruscant from a campaign in the Outer Rim, his armor scarred, his heart cold with purpose. He went to Padmé's apartment, ready to show her the stability he was forging, the peace he had secured for her. He found it empty. She was gone. All of her belongings, her aides, her ship vanished. The realization struck him with more force than any lightsaber. She had fled from him. The one person his entire empire was built to protect saw him as a monster. A cold rage replaced his confusion. She would not have done this alone. There was only one person in the galaxy she would trust with her life. He set a new course, his target no longer a nameless Jedi, but a man he once called brother. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi found Padmé not on a distant, forgotten world, but in the heart of the rebellion she had helped build in secret. On Alderaan, under the protection of Bail Organa. Pause. Medium. She arrived heartbroken and terrified. Her faith in the man she loved shattered. It was there, in the sterile quiet of a medical bay, that she gave birth not to one child, but two. A boy and a girl. Luke and Leia. As she held them, her resolve hardened. She had not lost hope, it had just been born. Obi-Wan contacted the only other Jedi Master he knew had survived, Yoda. On the swamp world of Dagobah, the two Jedi communed through the Force, their conversation grim. Pause. Strong. A tyrant, he has become. Yoda rasped, his small frame heavy with the galaxy's sorrow. But a tyrant who believes he is the savior. More dangerous this is. Obi-Wan knew they could not face Anakin. Not now. His former apprentice commanded the galaxy's armies and was at the peak of his power, fueled by a righteous fury that made him unstoppable. A desperate plan was forged. They would do what the Jedi had not done in 1,000 years. They would fight a war from the shadows. Bail Organa and other loyalist senators would sow the first seeds of a true rebellion, quietly building a network of resistance. But the children, the galaxy's true hope, had to be hidden. They were the future, the key to one day redeeming the past. To Tatooine, I will take the boy, Obi-Wan declared, his voice heavy with the weight of his task. To Alderaan, the girl will go, Bail confirmed. As Padmé watched her children being prepared for their separate journeys, she made a promise. She would not hide. She would fight. For them. The rebellion had its cause, and the Jedi had their mission. The Galactic Empire under Emperor Skywalker was not the shadowy regime of Darth Sidious. It was an empire of harsh, blinding light. On worlds crippled by the Clone Wars, order was restored with brutal efficiency. Trade routes were cleared of pirates by the 501st Legion, led by the Emperor himself. Corrupt systems were purged. To many, Anakin Skywalker was a hero, the man who ended the war, exposed the Sith, and brought a firm, guiding hand to a galaxy spiraling into chaos. They willingly traded freedom for the security he promised, and for a time, it seemed to work. But for every world that prospered, another was broken. Any system that questioned the new order, any dissenter who spoke of the old republic, was met with overwhelming force. There were no negotiations, only subjugation. Emperor Skywalker ruled from the front lines, not a throne. He was a warrior king, convinced that his strength was the only thing holding the galaxy together. Yet, he was a ruler haunted by ghosts. Pause. Strong. The vision of the black-armored man was a constant reminder of the future he had averted, and the disappearance of Padmé was a wound that would not heal. He hunted for Obi-Wan with a cold, desperate obsession, believing his former master held the key to finding his wife, and to silencing the doubts that gnawed at his soul. In the shadows, hope flickered. From Alderaan, a rebel alliance was being born. Bail Organa and Mon Mothma provided the political framework, but its heart was a voice of defiance, broadcast on hidden frequencies. Padmé Amidala. No longer a senator, she was now a symbol. her impassioned pleas for democracy and freedom galvanizing secret cells across the galaxy. She spoke of the Emperor's tyranny, of the lives lost to his quest for order, turning his public image as a savior into one of a despot. While Padme fueled the political fire, the Jedi played a longer game. On the desert world of Tatooine, a weathered Obi-Wan Kenobi watched over a young boy with his father's eyes, a quiet guardian waiting for the right moment. On Dagobah, Master Yoda delved deep into the mysteries of the Force, seeking a path to victory that did not rely on strength of arms alone. In the royal court of Alderaan, a young princess named Leia was trained in diplomacy and leadership, her fiery spirit a reflection of the mother she secretly met with, and the father she would one day have to face. The galaxy was now a fractured mirror, reflecting two irreconcilable truths. Half the galaxy saw a savior who had brought peace through strength. The other half saw a tyrant who had stolen their liberty. There was no middle ground left. Aboard his flagship, the Resolute, Emperor Skywalker stood alone on the bridge after decimating a nascent rebel fleet over the Outer Rim. His quest for order had led him to destroy his own people. A single message had been intercepted during the battle, a message not meant for him, but one that chilled him to the bone. It was Padme's voice, speaking of hope, of a new generation that would rise against him. He closed his eyes, the image of his lost wife warring with the vision of the monster he refused to become. The lines were drawn. The war for the soul of the galaxy, and for the soul of Anakin Skywalker, was about to begin.